first, we'll be watching legendary drops. I guess they are going to ruin everything. Who is gonna ruin everything? Tell us.
Things have gotten so much worse. Crucial, one of the leading brands in high performance and most importantly, affordable memory, just left the consumer market entirely to focus their efforts and their manufacturing on AI data centers. They just left. They're gone. One of the biggest memory brands on the planet is no longer supplying consumers at all. People thought prices were getting high already. Oh boy. Since the last time that we talked about AI, I have been spiraling. While I want to talk about the impacts to the gaming space, and we'll get to that, I think that it is...
So, hold on. I don't understand how this is gonna work. Gaming companies are using AI to make some of the games. Okay, understand that. Cutting costs at some locations, it's fine, and it makes sense. All right. But if we use up all the memory for AI, I know that gaming is not the only place where AI is in use, but if we go so far as to use all the memory that is on the market and that companies even stop selling to consumers, and we won't have any PCs to play with or use the AI, where is that gonna lead us to? At some point you're just gonna eat yourself up, no? This is bullshit.
Incredibly important that people understand the gravity of the situation that we are headed into right now, and just how much what's going on is going to change the world. I think a lot of people, for some odd reason, think that this is just limited to PC gaming. No, it's life, and also what I'm now starting to view as a class extinction event. Oh man, these guys are spending a lot of money on AI. No, we are all spending a lot of money on AI, and we're going to be spending a lot more. Inflation has been out of control essentially since COVID. This entire thing is just going to pour gasoline. It's going to pour jet fuel on that fire. Damn. And people are already struggling to be able to afford basic necessities, let alone luxury goods like video games. And now we have data center expansion that's layered on top of that is now estimated to double water and power consumption in the next 4 years. We're already paying for that, and it hasn't even started yet. All of these costs are going to just get passed down to the consumer. Hardware prices are going to rise. The price of everything is going to rise. And all the while, this technology is being aimed at reducing jobs and increasing productivity, not reducing prices. None of which matters if there's nobody left to be able to buy anything. So today, I'm crashing out. Today's video is sponsored by Starforge Systems, and this honestly feels like the right moment to talk about them. With hardware prices continuing to climb and individual parts getting harder to justify, buying piece by piece just doesn't make the same sense that it used to. Starforge builds are some of the highest quality PCs on the market. Whether you're looking for full tower powerhouses, a clean mid-range system, or a compact form factor build, they do it with a level of care that shows both in performance and finish. Their custom cases and collaborative designs are some of the slickest on the market, and everything is assembled by people who actually know PCs inside and out. If you've been thinking about upgrading while you still can, check out Starforge Systems using the link in the description. The AI industry is moving at such an absurd and reckless pace that I am almost convinced that the end goal here is not innovation, it is immortality for the people that are running it. The urgency, the scale, the money that's being burned, none of it makes sense unless these billionaires behind it believe that they can outlive the rest of us by using it. Maybe Walt Disney will finally get thawed out. Honestly, at least that means we'll probably get some better movies. In 2025 alone, the biggest tech companies on the planet, Microsoft...
But no one's going to be able to afford seeing them.
Amazon, Google, Meta, Apple are throwing nearly $500 billion into AI data centers. $500 billion.
Where the fuck do they get that money from? If all of them are like, tariffs, we gotta pay our people, where the fuck does that money come from? Out of the consumers' pockets and the workers' pockets. Holy shit. Who is it again?
Movies. In 2025 alone, the biggest tech companies on the planet, Microsoft, Amazon, Google, Meta, Apple, are throwing nearly $500 billion.
Again, what the fuck?
$1 trillion into AI data centers. $500 billion. That is an amount of money that is so absurd that you can barely even wrap your head around it. That's more money than the U.S. spends on their entire military in a year. It's more money
disgusting.
than you would need to be able to buy a house for every family in the U.S. and still have some change left over. And all of it is going straight into these concrete boxes full of servers, sucking up hardware, land, electricity, and water at a scale that most people, regular people, will never benefit from, but will absolutely end up paying for. Actually, we're already paying for it. PC hardware prices have gone insane. RAM is already up 250%, now pushing 500% in some cases. Even pre-built companies like CyberPower PC are raising their prices before the year ends because they can't keep up with the cost of parts. And it's only getting worse because nobody is planning to relieve any of this pressure on consumers.
Just stop selling to those fucking tech companies, please. Some private company, please. Please only sell to like something. Someone's gotta be the hero here, please.
Tom's Hardware reported that memory makers have no plans to increase RAM production despite crushing shortages, and Joey Morales spelled out exactly why, saying that the three biggest memory chip makers, Micron, SK Hynix, and Samsung, are anticipated to spend $54 billion on capital expenditure, but this is focused on improving the performance of HBM modules for AI chips. So despite the 14% year-on-year growth in investments in the DRAM sector, they will not increase the available bit output of memory chips. Because of this,
disgusting.
We can assume that the ongoing shortages will continue into next year and well into 2027. In fact, experts say
they know
that
what
the
they're
massive
doing.
appetite for AI chips driven by the infrastructure build-out will cause a pricing apocalypse that will last a decade. Yes, you heard them right. They said a decade. And if you guys think the prices are bad now, the industry is openly telling you that this is just the beginning. And this article was written before Micron left the consumer market entirely. On December 3rd, after nearly 30 years of...
So sorry to bring it up, but I got gifted a subscription from a backstabber streamer and had to make sure I blocked and deleted the subscription. Goddamn.
Serving consumers, Micron announced that Crucial, its entire consumer-facing brand, is shutting down February of 2026. And
how does a streamer become a backstabber though? Huh? No, it's fine.
This isn't because they couldn't sell memory. It's because they're making far more from AI data centers. Their stock is up 300% this year, and I think that tells you exactly where the incentives are. Guys, this sucks so bad. Crucial is one of the top 5.
Cinderb? How, not who. Sorry.
Memory brands with just under 10% market share next to giants like Corsair and Kingston. And most importantly, these guys were affordable. They were reliable. They were the no-nonsense option for regular people. I've used these guys in so many of my machines in the past, and now they're gone. A full manufacturer has just walked away from consumers entirely, shrinking competition, tightening supply even further, and taking one of the most budget-friendly choices off of the table. And of course, the strain doesn't stop there. Every major hardware company is doing the exact same thing, and they're all shifting their production to be able to support AI data centers. NVIDIA, the leader of this entire AI boom, openly reminded everybody this year that they are not a gaming company, and now it's reported that they won't be supplying VRAM to their board partners. Normally, NVIDIA sources their memory directly through Samsung, Micron, or SK Hynix, but now they're pushing that responsibility onto GPU makers, forcing them to buy from the same memory suppliers who are already redirecting their production to AI, which means that RAM prices go up, GPU prices go up, and there is no relief coming. And of course, it doesn't stop there because you have chip makers now that want to take advantage of the moment. AMD is reportedly raising the prices of their CPU as shortages grow, and there are early signs that this is going to spill over to their GPU pricing as well. AI is not just inflating one quarter of the market, it's pulling the entire hardware ecosystem up with it.
I hate that.
I think a lot of people still...
AI ruins everything, is dangerous to many degrees, yet we're still just letting it go. AI has its uses. I do agree. But I think it's well beyond developed enough already as it is. We don't need for it to do more. It doesn't need to drive us around. There's supposed to be some personal responsibility still. The fuck is going on? To figure out how to for a moment. Don't want that on my account, but geez, this AI stuff is stupid and ridiculous indeed.
Believe that this is somehow limited to just PC gaming and PC hardware enthusiasts. Like the fallout of this is just a tech hobby problem. No, it's not. I mean, I've even seen console players believing that they are somehow safe from all of this. What's happening right now is going to accelerate inflation.
Xbox has upped their console game price, but for the third time this year alone. Their excuse was, well, RAM is more expensive, while Microsoft, the one that owns Xbox, has been putting in $10 billion into AI manufacturing. The fuck? It could be more money, actually.
And widen class divides at a speed that I didn't even think was possible. The price spikes that we're seeing right now are not isolated. This is going to bleed into everything that uses memory, chips, and GPUs, which is basically every sector of modern life right now. The same suppliers that build RAM and VRAM for PCs are also the ones that are supplying chips for your phone, your car, your TV, the card reader at the grocery store. If their costs explode, the cost to run every business increases too, and those businesses are just going to pass that burden directly down to consumers. And we haven't even touched the impact of the data centers themselves. I mean, the data center expansion hasn't even started yet. What we're seeing right now is just the warm-up expansions into existing facilities and a handful of early builds, not the thousands that have already been approved, planned, or proposed across the country, let alone the world. Hyperscalers like Google are building massive sites in Texas, Arkansas, and Virginia. Microsoft is building everywhere, and Meta is dropping a new data center in Louisiana that's the size of apparently the bottom half of Manhattan. Some of these projects span over 1,000 acres, replacing farmland, consuming entire water tables, and pulling more electricity than small cities. And that's not speculation. CNET reported that an OpenAI-backed site in Texas is projected to consume 1.2 gigawatts of electricity. That is the same amount it takes to power 750,000 homes. The scale of this is unprecedented and completely unsustainable. IBM...
The fuck is going on? No one's doing anything about it. How? All these fucking...
CEO openly warned that the ongoing build-out is not viable long-term, simply because the infrastructure required to power and cool these AI facilities would collapse the grid and their return on investment. The Department of Energy is saying that AI data centers are now a key driver for electricity demand growth, with national electricity expected to double by 2035, largely because of AI. Worse over, CNET found a Google facility in Iowa that's consuming 1.4 billion gallons of water in a single year. The communities around these things are already feeling it. Residents in Georgia said that their wells are drying up because Meta broke ground on a new complex. Some towns near data centers are seeing their power bills spike over 200% in just the past 5 years. And those power bills don't just hit households, they're hitting every single business in the area, raising prices of everything downstream. But wait, LD, there's got to be some payoff, right? Something for the average person? Well, sort of.
No.
I mean, Meta has been boasting about these facilities and how they're there to be able to help the community thrive.
Fuck no! Meta saying that is the biggest joke of all. They're just there for your data so they can store it and sell it again. That's what those data centers are for. Holy fucking shit. There is no fucking way.
The water supplies and increasing vehicle accidents by nearly 600% during peak construction hours. And that giant Louisiana facility, that one that's going to take up 2,250 acres, well, it's expected to create around 500 permanent jobs in exchange for wiping out a chunk of land the size of a small city. So yeah, this
just
has
500? That you cannot justify that. Who the fuck allowed that to happen? Oh, bribery. No, it makes sense. He doesn't care what's gonna happen in 5 years. Whoever took the bribe, he's gonna live well for the next 2-3 years. And he's in the good graces of those big tech companies. Oh, he won't fucking care about that. He'll just take a few more bribes. That's it. That'll solve his problem. God,
like I've said before, I don't have a problem with AI as a technology. What I do take issue with is the speed and scale of this expansion. These guys are treating it like it's a Cold War. Maybe it is a Cold War, but right now it looks more like class warfare than anything else. A consolidation of wealth, land, and resources, stripping jobs from the economy and funneling all these benefits upward. When the cost of living explodes, when resources get drained, when industries turn their back on consumers, when corporations start buying up land like they're building their own country, when entire markets get reshaped overnight, that is not progress, and it is all being aimed at the same people every single time. So now we're talking about higher energy costs, higher water rates, less water, higher consumer pricing for pretty much every single category, higher operating costs for every industry that relies on digital infrastructure, power, and water.
God,
so basically everything, and barely any jobs to offset those impacts. Oh, and this technology is mostly being aimed at reducing jobs on a global scale. And all of this is happening before any of these planned data centers have even broken ground. I hate sounding like a conspiracy theorist here because I don't think that there's some secret room with a dozen CEOs that are chanting over a cauldron, but well, at least I hope not. But I do think that we're watching something that's been building for years. Constant social division, culture war after culture war, race, gender, and ideology, all of it being amplified by platforms that are owned by the self-same companies that are driving this AI expansion. And it is all felt weirdly convenient, like a distraction, because while everybody's been fighting over the latest outrage cycle, the real material shift has been happening quietly in the background. The middle and lower classes are being squeezed out of stability, out of savings, out of ownership, out of mobility, out of jobs, out of their homes. And if hardware becomes unsustainable, if utilities skyrocket, if jobs get automated faster than new ones appear, then this is just a restructuring.
That is just a modern slavery. How are you gonna tell me otherwise? People in America have already have to have free jobs to come by. Yet you're telling me everything's gonna get even more expensive even faster? I don't want to have 5 jobs so I can sustain myself on a small fucking level. The fuck?
Of society in real time. And I'm not saying that it's coordinated. I'm just saying that it's happening. And I'm saying that it's impossible to see who's benefiting and who's paying. 500 jobs is a total lie, by the way. I hope you guys understand that. I worked a construction job at the Google Iowa facility out in Council Bluffs. And you'd be lucky to see 20 people that were working there at one single time. These places decimate local jobs. They don't give them anything. True. We're talking about data centers 100%. That are plopped into the middle of BFE. How many people do you think out there are actually qualified to be able to work at a data center to be
the H-1B visas will do it. They'll do it, man. They'll do that slave labor for $200 a year and they'll be happy with it.
With at most, all they're going to be able to take on is a couple of maintenance guys, some janitors, some heating and air people, but nothing that's actually going to be able to offset the cost to the community itself. And all of the cascading effects for the energy costs as well as just general inflation for the area. Right now, AI has no tangible benefits for the average person. That's what the problem is. And all of it is being aimed at reducing jobs on a global scale. It's just Cyberpunk 2077 without any of the cool stuff. The only people that are benefiting from any of this right now are CEOs, billionaires, mutual funds, local and national politicians.
Well, gee, I struggle to understand what how the negative consequences of that, have to do with general crime statistics, poverty, housing costs. I struggle to see how that is any relevance. This is disgusting, way beyond disgusting. Huh? I wish some super hacker would just straight up make a death machine kind of fucking AI self-replicating death virus and upload it to the fucking internet so everything that it touches gets shut the fuck down and it targets AI specifically and they get set back 20 fucking years at the minimum. I hope to God someone does that. I hope some fucking vigilante super hacker from 50 years in the future goes back in fucking time. Oh my god.
Every single time I have turned on any coverage in a local area, not necessarily national news, I like no local news more than anything, but there's always some cheesing politician that's sitting there talking about how great it is for the community, how they're bringing jobs
every fucking time, of course.
Money into the
Remember when I said something about the bribes, something bribes?
local economy, as you're watching them plop a data center into the middle of some middle-class neighborhood, driving down their property values, likely on...
Right, I learned this from Kitsu. YouTube is such a cool and good platform. I hope YouTube makes it. It's so fucking good.
Purpose to be able to push them off their land and buy their land right up from underneath them. So costs are going to explode. Job markets are going to vanish overnight. And I think a lot of this is going to happen faster than most people are prepared for. And I think that the industry that we're going to see this affected by the most at first is actually going to be the video game industry. While a lot of people believe that it might be somewhat isolated, it's not.
Nope.
It's directly downstream from all of this.
Well, first, we're going to have video games, as you said. In my opinion, next are all the office jobs that do the useless work, you know, all that stuff. Then it's gonna be bankers, you know, all the people who process payments and shit. Yeah, why not just put an AI behind that? You know, you'll have one AI working on millions of people's fucking bank details, and maybe 100 people overseeing the AI just to make sure it's running properly for the first year. And after they successfully proven, yeah, it works fine, they get fired too, because we don't need humans anymore. And the higher ups are one by one going to be, yeah, you're not needed anymore. What do we need a manager for 0 people for anymore? You're not needed. And there's going to be less and less people employed like that. Oh my god! I want AI Moomy. Fuck you! No! Thank you for the free gifted subs tier 1. Oh my god! That scared the shit out of me. Yeah. After the bankers, you know, it's who's gonna be next? It's probably, man, I'm so glad I'm in a fucking I'm an artisan. I'm a handyman. I'm so glad I am, because I'm gonna be the last one affected, or somewhere along that, right? I mean, I'm well on my way to be replaced as well, right? We have CNCs that do all the work that we could do on their own with the proper programming. All we need to do is put the fucking wood on it. I mean, I'm well on my way to get replaced as well. It's just gonna take a bit longer than most of the jobs that have to do with software and shit. You know, this is gonna be one ginormous mess. I'm an editor. I'm fucked. Oh god. Fucking news stations? Who the fuck needs fucking journalists that that put their own opinion down your fucking throat when we can have AI that does it way more effectively? Like, they're gonna speak to your subconscious like a fucking horse whisperer. Goddamn. Like, this is gonna be, holy fuck, we are literally ending ourselves. This would be fine if we were aiming for a utopia. They're not journalists, they're parrot chicks. They're smear merchants and stuff like that, I know, but still. They're gonna get replaced by AI eventually as well. Fucking Ubers, taxi drivers, delivery, fucking... As soon as the drone program is in, who the fuck needs a delivery man anymore? And that is only if we keep thinking that the money is just magically gonna keep coming, because once we don't have, as consumers, don't have the money to supply them anymore, it's just gonna implode. It's just gonna fucking implode. an AI mummy wouldn't stutter as much. Yeah, but my retardedness is part of my appeal. One teeny tiny problem with the drone delivery. There's no place to deliver it to, I guess. Man. Oh, what did I do?
Without any of the cool stuff. The only people that are benefiting from any of this right now are CEOs, billionaires, mutual funds, local and national politicians. Every single time I have turned on any coverage in a local area, not necessarily national news. I like
we only
local
went back a little bit.
But
remember when rednecks were joking about shooting said drones off the air? I think at some point, I'm glad that I live in a country that is well armed in its citizens. If they ever try to take the guns from us, I'm voting against that 100%, regardless of who it is. If they ever try to take the guns away, hell fucking no. No. Absolutely not. And once fucking America, once American people lose access to self-defense in forms of guns and stuff like that, America is fucked. Hello, how's it going? I am fucking losing it. I'm on a doomer pill right now. Stay strapped or get clapped. Indeed. Nowadays, it's not the fucking criminals on the street that are more dangerous. It's your actual fucking politicians and tech companies. They're far more dangerous than any criminal on the street could ever be, because there's only that many criminals. But there's so many tech companies. Anti-gun retards again? No, absolutely not. AI is taken over.
There's always some cheesing politician that's sitting there talking about how great it is for the community, how they're bringing jobs and injecting money into the local economy as you're watching them plop a data center into the middle of some middle-class neighborhood, driving down their property values, likely on purpose to be able to push them off their land and buy their land right up from underneath them.
AI ID guns.
The costs are going to explode. Job markets are going to vanish overnight. And I think a lot of this is going to happen faster than most people are prepared for. And I think that the industry that we're going to see this affected by the most at first is actually going to be the video game industry. While a lot of people believe that it might be somewhat isolated, it's not. It's directly downstream from all of this. They live in
Kojima's future is coming. This looks more like a grim Dark Souls future, man. The best possible solution, Dark Souls 3, was for us to just let the flame die out. Because even if we rekindled the flame, everything would just be undead, hollow. That was the best possible future for Dark Souls 3. That was the good ending. We don't even have that right now. Our good ending is to burn down the fucking tech companies. They already implemented the dumbass psycho lock thing. God fucking
the exact same hardware supply lines.
No, I know exactly what you mean.
The same chips, the same data centers, all of this stuff. Which means that we're not going to be talking about some type of slow movement into this, some slow adjustment. No, it's going to be a rapid shift in who gets to make games, how games are made, how much they cost, who even gets to buy them, how these games are delivered. And I think it's going to happen faster than publishers and players are even prepared for. I want to set expectations real quick. I'm not pretending to be some academic or industry
Too damn
insider.
early for the age of strife, damn it. God damn it.
I'm just somebody who pays attention. I follow business, I follow economics, I watch how technology and culture collide with one another, and I keep coming back to games because this industry reflects all of that better than almost anything else. Gaming doesn't just reflect culture, it stress tests it. The same with technology.
Can't wait for AI
GPUs,
robots.
real-time rendering, online systems, most of the stuff that is powering modern tech today.
Can we at least get out of the cradle first?
Workout here. That's why this industry grew so quickly, and it's also why this industry is so fragile. Every pressure point is exposed. Hardware, energy, labor, money, culture. When something shifts in the wider world, gaming feels it almost immediately. Okay, so we already know that the custom PC market is feeling this first. That part isn't new, but what got overlooked almost immediately, though, is what Micron's pivot actually means for the rest of gaming hardware. Micron is not some niche supplier. They are a major producer of memory that's used in NVIDIA graphics cards alongside DRAM and NAND flash that ends up in gaming consoles. The exact mix is going to vary by model and manufacturer. Sometimes it's Samsung that's filling that role or SK Hynix, but that detail almost doesn't even matter anymore. Because the reality is all these companies are making the exact same decision at the exact same time, shifting all their production towards AI-focused memory and away from consumer hardware. That is going to create scarcity everywhere. GPUs, consoles, storage, everything downstream from memory production is just going to get tightened up all at once. And that's going to leave consoles...
This new bubble to blow so fucking hard that the majority of companies would disappear. I agree. Fuck Meta. Fuck fucking Microsoft. Fuck Microsoft specifically, honestly. Holy shit. If Meta imploded and Facebook disappeared, that would leave... Oh my god, that would make a whole lot of the fucking future better, because fucking parents would get off fucking Facebook and stop getting brainwashed. Though it's going to involve necessary eugenics and gene editing to make navigators. God damn it. I'm gonna go sleep and ignore the sleep paralysis demon that looks like Bill Gates. Have fun and take care, everyone. I can't fucking blame you for having a paralysis demon that looks like Bill Gates. God fucking damn it. Though who the fuck knows anymore? I mean, gene babies, designer babies are gonna be a thing in China pretty fucking soon. So, it's not even... Moomy good? No, absolutely not. I am dooming the fuck out right now. I am losing hope for the future right fucking now with the AI fucking bursting open like this. Holy shit.
With two very bad options. Either the next generation is going to launch at prices that would have sounded insane just a few years ago, well north of $1,000 per system, or those consoles are going to get delayed because these companies realize that there is no realistic way to sell what now looks like a premium PC price. Consoles have always survived on being affordable, the accessible entry point into gaming. If they lose that role, they don't just become more expensive, they become way harder to justify at all.
Bro, at this point, I'm just gonna take all my saved up money, turn it into Bosnian fucking mark, go to Bosnia, build myself a fucking house like the Mexicans do from America to Mexico, and just live there from now on. Fuck it. I'll fucking give up. What the fuck is gonna do anything about it? I have enough knowledge to make myself a shack and then slowly build up a house. Just exploit the poor people there, like the rich people do today. It's not that hard. And I'm gonna pay them for a job well done instead of time, cause, you know, efficiency. Really like it if we could not keep following the trajectory of 40K's future, please. It's fucking incredible how we have been predicting this future for centuries now. You can't pull Black Pill yet, you still have to collab with Kier one day? I guess so, but in 40K's future... Not even 40K, we're at maybe 10K right now. We're gonna be at 10K soon. And it's not even gonna be 10,000 years after Jesus. We're at 2K right now? How the fuck does that work? We're only in millennia 2. No, I get it, but like, progress-wise, we're at 10K. I'm back because I just saw a new member in your Discord, and when I checked their Twitter link, seemed like an art scammer. Oh no. Someone in the comments said, be not afraid to RAM being expensive. Be afraid that the RAM, after a few years without price falling back, is still gonna be cheapest part of PC. This is
Now, for players, the outcome is going to be pretty simple and also pretty bleak.
Yeah,
wherever you guys are right now, that's probably exactly where you're going to be staying for quite a long time. Either you're going to get priced out of upgrading entirely, or upgrades are just not going to exist in a meaningful way. And this isn't just about new hardware. Even existing components are going to get more expensive to make as memory production gets redirected towards AI, and also as energy costs climb alongside all these new data centers being expanded upon. This is just pressure building, scarcity feeding inflation, inflation feeding higher production costs, and higher costs locking people out of climbing that hardware ladder altogether. Gaming isn't just going to slow down under these conditions. It's
starting to sound like you're going to need to learn how to build your own components. True. Remember the fucking clip where the mom is like, "Oh, I put my son in house arrest and I took away his PC, but I left him the screen because what is he gonna do without a PC?" And then he built a new PC out of scraps. I think we'll just have to do that now. We're gonna be fucking foraging for memory in fucking old phones and shit. India being a new superpower isn't even that far away anymore. Seriously. You know what? That might be a better option. We're literally gonna be the fucking coal mines in tech. We will be the ones that have to forage old phones for little copper and gold-plated stuff so we can actually do something with it. We'll be the new Africa. What the fuck is going on? Why the fuck are we? Not even we. Who is we? It's they, the fucking top 1%. Fuck those guys. We're going to go full China with scavenging chips? Bro, we are not gonna go full China. We're gonna be going fucking full Russia with this shit. Full Russia and Africa, bro. Children will be doing the phones while we'll be doing old PC cases. The adults, I mean. Because we don't have small enough of fingers. Our hands are gonna be blue from the fucking nickel poisoning? This is gonna be terrible. Fuck! I'll just go to a fucking mountain, build a shack up there with firewood, with an axe, and a gun, and plenty of ammo. That's what I'm gonna do. Holy shit, what are you gonna do? I'm on a fucking mountain. If you guys want to kill me, I'm gonna take 5 of you with me at least. Fucking mines everywhere and shit. I'm gonna go full Rambo on this motherfucker. Holy fuck! That seems more of a good future than anything right now that is an option. Build your own gun and ammo. Bro, you might as well learn.
It's gonna get frozen in place. Now, if we zoom out just a bit, this also means that the cost to operate a game studio is about to skyrocket, especially for these studios
join you? Yeah,
chasing
the more the merrier.
Service games.
Okay, China is already desperate for tech and can't make their own. Interesting, as the Soviets' advanced jet technology was stolen from the Brits. No, I'm talking about the scavenging. There is this fucking mining place for gold in Russia, wasn't there? Was it Russia? I think it was Russia.
This is what I mean when I say that these effects do not stay contained. Even if existing live service games don't technically need any of this cutting-edge AI hardware to be able to function, these companies are still running and integrating a lot of this AI everywhere else. All their back-end systems, the analytics, the moderation, content generation, customer support, Epic, EA, Ubisoft, all these guys have been getting into this stuff. They're all doing it right now. And those costs are not going to live in a vacuum. They are going to roll straight into the operating budgets, into the server costs, and also into their long-term stability. On top of that, hardware scarcity and rising energy prices are going to make it harder and more expensive to be able to keep servers online at scale. Live service games don't need to just exist. They got to stay alive. And as these server costs continue to climb and expansion becomes more expensive, a lot of these publishers are going to hit a wall maintaining what they already have, let alone launching the next wave of always online games that they've built their entire strategy around.
Oh, funny how that parallels with the China's lack of ability to produce their own innovative tech, as most of its stolen knockoffs. True.
And this doesn't...
Well, it's a specialization in tech, isn't it? They are specialized in making cheap knockoffs. They don't opt for quality. They have specialized in stealing ideas and making cheap knockoffs of those, and then flooding the market with that. It is a legit specialization. It's not even them just being bad at stuff. Because China is about pretend and not be. You can say that all you want, but how many people do you know that actually use the fucking Chinese stuff? I know about a few. Everyone, right? This is fucking disgusting beyond anything.
Stop with AAA, which sucks in this case. The second order effects are going to hit indie developers and smaller studios too. Even if you're targeting low-end hardware and making smaller, less demanding games, you still have to clear the basic entry point just to be able to exist in this space. You need development hardware, you need build machines, and if your game has any online component at all, you need servers. And as these costs rise, a lot of the would-be developers that are out there are simply just going to be priced out before they can even ship a game. Not because they lack the talent, but just because they can't afford the door fee anymore. True. What this ultimately means is that the price floor for games is going to rise across the board for publishers, for developers, and for players. Big publishers, these guys could totally absorb the cost if they wanted to. They already make an obscene amount of money from their services, microtransactions, and reoccurring revenue, but they won't. They never have. Historically, every single bad bet, every overinvestment just gets passed down to the customer at the end of the day. But these indie guys, they're not going to have a choice. That really sucks for them. As development costs climb, many of these guys are going to have no other option but to charge more just to be able to survive. Even if their games don't feel more expensive to players, that's going to put them in an impossible position. Higher prices, a more price-sensitive audience, and less tolerance for risk.
You know, I think at some point, single-player offline games are going to be good for indie developers on CD. Our tech is going to regress. It's a capitalist economy run by communist state. I know what you mean. And you know what? I've seen evidence of other nations' products being in stores in the US. I'd prefer more American products, but it's a start.
The end result.
I mean, at some point, yes, the discs have been, you know, have a lot more storage space than they used to, but still, they're way slower. We're gonna have 10-minute loading screens now. But honestly, that's better than the fucking online bullshit that we have now. I'd buy a physical game any day, any time of the day. But not even that's gonna work, because all the energy used to make that disc and put it on the disc is still tech related, which is still gonna be fucking expensive again because of the fucking AI storages. Torrent. We got, at some point, we just gotta hit them with the fucking virus. Just destroy all their fucking progress. Man. Someone from the future, please tell these assholes that they're fucking wrong for this.
Result isn't just going to be higher priced games, it's going to be more failures, more studios that collapse, more creative voices that disappear just because the economics behind all of this stop making sense. And there's another part of this that makes the situation spiral even faster, and it's a part that I think a lot of people want to separate just for comfort reasons, but the cost of the hobby.
I mean, if Arrowhead can take their 152 gigabyte game and make it 26 gigs, anything's possible. They are not gonna listen.
Is now rising at the exact same time as cost of living is exploding. That is a lethal combination, my friends. Games do not exist in a vacuum. When rent is higher, groceries are higher, utilities are higher, suddenly a console...
Dude, you did not listen before. It will... Those fucking... A single AI storage facility is gonna use up 1.3 million gallons of water to cool down the system. Do you understand what that means for the energy consumption, water consumption, the house prices, utility consumption, and price? This is gonna fuck up everyone around themselves. Countrywide, continental-wide economy failure. If time travel is possible, only the fucking orcs can do it and survive the paradox that could come from it. Man, we just gotta revert to plant life base, man. It's that easy. You know, maybe those TikToks where visualize your goals aren't that far off anymore. God damn it, yeah, but not the CEOs and company owners. Yeah, of course they won't be fucking hit by that. They'll save their own fucking ass. Of course they will. But that only goes so far. Once the people had enough. Once the people had enough and are gonna say, yeah, we're gonna make a new country out of this land with their guns. Like the founding fathers. Once people had enough, really enough, we're gonna have a fucking Fallout situation. Fallout New Vegas storyline isn't even that bad compared to what's gonna happen from now on. Holy fucking shit. Yeah.
Or a stupid cosmetic feel like a luxury that you just cannot justify. Not because people don't love games, but because they're being forced to triage their own spending. And what sucks about a lot of this is that we're kind of screwed no matter what way this AI gamble plays out. Even if AI works the way that these billionaires hope it does, well, then living gets more expensive and jobs become harder to come by at the exact same time. If it doesn't work and it all turns out to be another overhyped arms race that just collapses under its own weight, well,
anecdote and stone the world, possibly. And once we have a cure for the stone process, we gotta have a serious talk about who gets brought back and who doesn't. Because I believe every single rich person and, you know, tech genius, CEO, and stuff like that, fucking shareholders. Their stones need to be fucking broken apart. These fucking billionaires that only care about getting richer, yeah, they gotta go. Sun is gonna be powder. Of course.
Financial fallout still lands on regular people.
Remind me to send the story of the war boss that went back. Oh no, I know that one. I know that one. Get another of his favorite custom guns from his past self. Somehow that didn't destroy the wah. No, I don't know how it works because the orcs warp reality with their collective consciousness. Well, of course, the story goes like this. The commander, the orc commander, I have no idea what his name is, but he has a favorite gun, you know, and he went to the warp. But fun fact about orc ships, they are not warp protected. They just raw dog that motherfucker, and the warp actually makes you kind of go crazy, you know. Millionaires are unbearably stupid. Remember the Titanic submarine with Xbox wireless gamepad as controls? Yeah, indeed. He went to the warp. And some fucky-wucky happened, and they went back in time. The whole orc ship went back in time, and they actually tried to steal the ship that, you know, their past ship again. They actually entered their own ship, and everyone saw their past self, and you know, he realized, hey, I'm in the past. There's a second of my favorite gun. So he killed himself. War boss Grizguts, indeed, he killed his past self and took the gun. By the way, if you take the gun apart, it does not work. The collective of the orcs thinks the guns work, so the guns work. And since orcs don't have knowledge of how a how a time paradox happens, or that it even exists, they basically gaslit reality into accepting that war boss Grizguts has two of his favorite guns now.
depression, the layoffs.
Anyway, let's get back to depression. Sorry of
tightening.
that.
Either way, the risk is being socialized downwards. From the perspective of the games industry and honestly just everyday people, I only see this heading in one direction in the short term. Server pullbacks, fewer always online games, which honestly is a good thing. More aggressive shutdowns, and inevitably a sharper rise in piracy. Not out of malice, but just out of necessity. When access gets priced out and ownership keeps slipping away, people are going to find workarounds. They always do. Now, while I think it's going to be tough, I will say that I don't think that indie or AA developers are going to disappear. If anything, they're going to be the first ones to adapt. They're forced to. They're going to use older tools, older engines, lower their hardware targets, squeeze out as much as they can from this space as possible. We're already kind of seeing that right now with the flood of pixel art, low res, and retro inspired games, not just as an aesthetic choice, but now as a survival strategy. It's going to let these developers reach the widest audience possible without demanding expensive hardware, and that's going to let players keep engaging without upgrading. AAA, though, I just don't see how it stays sustainable, at least not in its current form. Not with all these different hardware demands from a lot of these.
We're gonna have old Doom back? Hell yeah. You can thank the fucking old ones for the existence of the absurd bullshit that are the orgs. I thought a bit of levity was needed to retain sanity, true. And we're be glad that the current orcs are way more stupid and aren't aware of their power, because the forefathers of the orcs could actually use that power consistently, and with an oh, Kira's not gonna be happy, she does love her graphics after all. Well, too bad, too damn bad. We're gonna go back to GTA 2 graphics, maybe even Doom. She'll find something that she likes.
Different companies, not with the level of inefficiency of these companies.
I mean, she gets happy. She's happy with Honeycomb, all right? Well, that's a game that doesn't need high graphics. It's fine.
Companies, especially when a lot of that inefficiency is intentional. I recently had read an interview from a former Sony game director who said, from a game developer's perspective, the higher performance of a game console, the better. This also applies to games whose graphics don't seem to fully utilize the performance. The reason is that it reduces the cost of resources for optimization during development and shortens the development process. Basically, it means that you can create something fairly rough and it still works well. That mindset explains everything. It's not about better games. It's about avoiding restraint, about avoiding optimization, avoiding discipline more than anything else.
Just still fun
throw
and
hardware
you
at
can
the
turn it into anything.
Something broken because the machine will be able to brute force it. That approach only works when hardware is cheap and plentiful, and that era is ending fast.
Finally.
This AI expansion is just going to make AAA games entirely unsustainable. Their cost to be able to operate their businesses is going to go straight through the roof. The cost to be able to operate their servers, players being able to afford their games, let alone even be able to run them. And all these guys are all chasing the tail of AI, thinking that's going to be able to solve these issues for them.
No.
I don't think that it's going to.
Absolutely not.
And I've said this for a while now. These games, they need to be made more sustainably. They need to stop thinking about trying to make the most high fidelity game possible and instead try to focus on expression, on artistry, something that it's where this industry came from. And without it, where are you going to be able to go? Most of these guys have already ripped that out of their companies to begin with, which doesn't really leave them with a lot of options or a path forward. Indie is the one that I'm the most worried about right now, and us as well, because, a lot of the coverage that I've seen talking about a lot of these issues is entirely limited to just like the immediate future. What's going to happen next year? What's going to happen the year after that? But these companies and these governments,
I still have my old PC. Billionaires. If I have my old PC, I have a lot of parts that I can still use. I can mix and mash. I could technically still upgrade my current PC a little bit. In that case, oh my god, I am so smart.
There's trillions of dollars in this. This is going to cascade on and on. The costs of this are going to cascade on and on for a decade or even longer than that. And that's going to make it almost impossible for people to even get in the door when it comes to this hobby. That's taking opportunities away from these developers, and it's also just taking an escape away from the rest of us.
Yeah.
This has been a moment of self-discovery for me. I am an incredibly pragmatic person. I fully understand the cost of progress, the inevitability of progress, and not wanting to stand in front of it. That's not really what I'm trying to do or talk about.
Yeah, at the end of the day, progress is good, but once progress ruins every future progress we could have and actually ruins everything else that we've already built up, that's not progress, that's a dead end. That's a brick wall that you are not strong enough to run through. You cannot brute force this one.
In this case, but I just don't really see the benefits for society, at least not immediately. And that's kind of bothersome right now because AI is such an unknown quantity. We don't know if it's going to turn the world into science fiction or if it's just going to be nothing at all. And the people that have all that potential, the ones that are wielding that potential right now, are only using it to benefit themselves, to make them richer, to enrich themselves at the cost of everybody else.
Progress has to be tempered with morality, otherwise it just becomes destructive. True.
All I know is that in the immediate future, we're all going to get a lot of mileage off of our backlogs, that's for sure. And we're going to see piracy rise to just unprecedented levels.
I hope so.
I mean, to be fair with
I hope so. I hope everyone starts pirating. I hope everyone starts pirating so people realize, oh, damn, we can't do that. And maybe, just maybe, shit will start to make sense again. Because we have been just eating up everything they throw at us as a society. And that is just disappointing. That fucking horse armor. It all comes back to that fucking horse armor. Oh my god.
a lot of the quality of the games that we've seen and also the prices of some of the games that we've seen that's already been happening in the background, but this is just going to exacerbate that issue insanely. And I did a little hardware survey at the end of one of my last videos where we were kind of talking about some of these issues. Most of you guys are on mid-range hardware. So if these guys start trying to make anything bigger than that, they're cooked. Oh, a lot of cases they already are.
Yep.
Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you guys did enjoy the video, like the video, subscribe to the channel, share the video with your friends. Sharing is very important. Sharing is caring, okay? It also really helps my videos with their reach. Follow me on Twitch, follow me on Twitter, follow me on Kick. Catch me in the next one. I got a couple more coming for you this week. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Stay cool, stay righteous, stay safe. Peace.
Family.
From
Whoop. Based fucking video, but not now. Yeah. Legendary drops. Yeah, that was a bit depressing, honestly. Nuking Arasaka Tower doesn't seem so fetched anymore. I hope the AI bubble pops so hard it's comically disastrous. We're just determined to barrel towards a cyberpunk dystopia ran by mega corporations, aren't we? Yeah, sad. But accurate. Oh, wait. Let me do outro for YouTube. This was Legendary Drops. Leave a like, comment, and subscribe. You know, check them out. Yeah.